Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm really excited to share with you one of my all-time most favorite handbags, and that's the Louis Vuitton Neverfull in the MM size. Again, this is my favorite tote bag, and I wanted to share with you the reasons why. I'm going to provide you a detailed review of the bag and some history behind it, in addition to giving you some mod shots and letting you know what it can hold. I will do a detailed wear and tear evaluation of the bag, including the rose ballerine lining, which I have on both of these bags. And then finally, I do want to do a comparison between these two canvases, the Damier Ebene versus the Damier Azur. And then also, finally, we'll give you my recommendations as to which one of these I would select if I had to only pick one. So if this sounds interesting to you, please let me know by giving this video a big thumbs up and subscribing to my channel below. So I wanted to start off with a little bit of history behind the Louis Vuitton Neverfull bag. So this launched initially in 2007 and since then has become one of its most recognizable, maybe even iconic handbags. In 2014, the bag underwent a revamp. As a part of that, there are a couple of major changes that came about with designs after 2014. Both of these bags were purchased in my local Louis Vuitton boutique approximately 2 years ago, only about a month apart. So these are the new models of the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. Major changes in 2014 included a change of the lining. So now there's a more modern, streamlined lining. They did away with the quatrefoil and floral Louis Vuitton patterns in the lining print and now have a very streamlined stripe pattern. The lettering of the Louis Vuitton on the internal pocket also is more streamlined and modern as well. And they also launched several new interior colors. So linings previously were either beige or red, depending on the canvas style you chose, but now there are a handful of different linings to choose from. And as you'll see in this video, I chose the rose ballerine for both of these bags. The other major change in 2014 was the new models of Louis Vuitton Neverfulls now include a little pouch or pochette, which I will show you in a minute as well. So again, I purchased both of these approximately 2 years ago. The first bag I selected was this Damier Ebene print. So a little bit about the Neverfull itself. As you can see, it's Louis Vuitton's classic tote bag shape. The Louis Vuitton Neverfull comes in 3 different sizes: the PM, which is the petite model, the MM, which is the moyen model or medium model, and the GM, which is the grand model. In both of these bags today, I selected the Neverfull in the MM or medium size. The reason I went with the medium size is I thought that would be the most practical or versatile for me. I'm relatively petite, I'm 5'4" in height, so I thought the GM would overwhelm me for an everyday bag, and that's what I was looking for in these bags, was something that I could use every day, including to tug along with 4 little kids. I thought this size would be just perfect for me. This bag also comes in several different selections in terms of prints or leather. So the canvas models include the monogram canvas, which is the monogram canvas with the vachetta trim, the Damier Ebene canvas, as we have here, with the colored treated leather trim, and then the Damier Azur, which comes with the untreated vachetta trim. In terms of other styles of this bag, you can also purchase it in epi leather, and the epi leather comes with silver hardware, unlike the canvas ones, which are gold hardware. And the epi leather version also does not include an internal pocket, but still comes with a pochette. The final choice would be some of the limited special editions, including the World Tour and other types of printed designs of Neverfull that are definitely available on the market or on the pre-loved market, depending on what you're interested in. So the reason I decided to purchase these bags brand new from the Louis Vuitton boutique is that these bags really do not lose resale value. So as you'll see on the pre-loved market, these bags actually go for approximately what they would as a new bag. So I was not able to find a pre-loved Neverfull that I thought was in good enough condition for a good price, so I figured I might as well just go ahead and buy it new from the boutique. Of course, you may have a different opinion on that, or if you're willing to purchase a bag that is slightly more worn than what I was willing to, I think the pre-loved market is still a good option. But overall, these bags don't lose much of their resale value, which again is a plus in my book, because if I'm going to be investing in a brand new handbag, I want to make sure that it's one that generally will hold its value. So I wanted to give you some of the general size measurements of this bag. So an approximate measurements are that the length, or this distance, is approximately 12.5 inches. The height is about 11.5, and the depth is about 6.5 inches. So a really good medium-sized tote bag. As you can see here, it comes with the 2 handles. It also comes with these cinch straps as well. So these straps are intended to allow you to cinch the sides in for a more streamlined looking style tote. I don't tend to do that at all with these bags. I think the appealing aspect of this bag is really that it is a huge tote that's floppy and you can throw a lot of things in. So I personally don't cinch it, but it's definitely available for you to use if you'd like. I just think it adds a lot of nice detail, so I just leave it open like this. It has the leather trim, so all the handles and the straps are leather. In this case, in the damier bean, it's the coated treated leather. And again, gold-toed hardware. I did add this luggage tag to both of my bags as a bag charm with my initials hot stamped on it. When I first purchased this bag, I also purchased other bag charms, including a poof ball, in addition to a little leather bow that I hung from the bags. But since I was using these bags for work, I thought that those weren't quite as professional looking, so I decided to stick with just the classic luggage tag for the bag charm. But a lot of people, you'll see, use a lot of really fun and cute accessories to hang from their bags. So on the inside, as you'll see here, there is one single clasp. So you're able to clasp the bag for some security. However, it's still quite open. That's what it looks like secured. There is no zip closure on the top of the bag. However, there is a large pocket here that's quite large. It has a beautiful zipper and can essentially fit my whole hand inside, so it's a really generous pocket. So I'm really able to hold all of my necessities in that one pocket securely. So as you can see here, this is the modern or updated lining after 2014, which is the classic striped pattern. The bag also does include this D-ring from which you can clip different items to. The bag also has this leather tag here, and mine was made in the USA. And if you flip up the pocket, the date code is hidden in the back here, if you're interested in looking up when the bag was made. So the new models of the Neverfull include this pouch as well. So this pouch will match the canvas or leather you select, and including the lining color. So mine's in the rose ballerine, so it also has this beautiful rose ballerine lining. It has attached to it a leather piece with a clasp on one end, so you can hook it into the D-ring of your bag, or you can even attach it to itself and make a little wristlet strap. The zipper is a beautiful zipper, as Louis Vuitton is known for, and internally looks like this, with one slip pocket and a nice leather Louis Vuitton tag there. This pouch really is quite thin, as you can see. However, it is able to hold my essentials such as my phone, some cash and cards, and even my small key fob. There's a great little clutch or an extra pocket to use inside of your bag. If you look on the pre-loved market, the pouches themselves from the Neverfull actually also are available for purchase if you're interested. So now I want to share with you a little bit about how I carry the bag and what fits inside of the bag. So first, for size reference, I do have my 13-inch laptop here, and I'll show you that it fits quite comfortably in this bag, no problem. And a ton of other stuff can fit in there, as you can see. It can fit a 15-inch laptop as well. It does add to the weight of the bag as expected, but it's a very nice work tote for this reason. It's also a really nice mommy or baby bag. I've used this bag many times for those purposes as well, where I'm able to just throw what I need inside of the bag. And I think the size is just perfect for that. I also have taken this traveling quite a bit as well as my purse or hand carry bag. Initially, when I purchased this bag, I did use a purse organizer for it because it is truly just the open pit. I thought that the purse organizer would help keep me organized, and that it does. However, I thought it added a little bit too much structure to the bag. So when you put in a large purse organizer, the bag conforms to the shape of that purse organizer, so I would see the outline of the purse organizer on the canvas. So it would lead to a very boxy structure. What I love most about this bag is that it is a slouchy tote bag style where you can throw things into, so that extra structure really wasn't to my liking. So I no longer use a purse organizer for this bag. I also do not use a base shaper, and so far, as you can see, it's held up pretty well now for over 2 years since I've had the bag with pretty heavy usage. So the one thing I do to hopefully minimize some of the wear and tear in the lining of this bag is I do use the dust bag that comes with the bag. I fold it up and I place it in the bottom of the bag to create my own makeshift lining. This is helpful for many reasons. So one is I always have the dust bag with the bag, so I never misplace it when I want to go back to store it. Secondly, I do have an extra protection for the bag. Let's say that it's pouring down rain and I really need something to cover my bag, especially my Vachetta bags. Sometimes I will just pull out the dust bag, even though it sounds really crazy, put it over the bag and have that added protection as I run to my car to get out of the rain. But the main reason why I do this is it helps provide extra protection to the lining. So as you'll see with usage, a lot of lint, dust, and dirt collects in the bottom of the bag. So what I'm able to do is just pull out the dust bag, shake it off and clean the dust bag off, and my lining has stayed really, really clean in that way. So that's one thing I like to do to help protect the bag. So now I wanted to give you a couple of mod shots and show you how this bag looks on my frame. Again, this is the MM or medium size for both of these bags, and I'm 5'4" in height for your reference. So here's what the bag looks like on my shoulder. So I think it's just perfect for my frame and very comfortable to carry on my shoulder. And here's what the Azure bag looks like on my frame. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was wear and tear on the bag and give you a detailed review about how these bags have looked over the past 2 years since I've used them. So I'll first start out with the Damier Bean, and I'm going to go over the canvas wear in addition to leather wear. And then I will do evaluation of the Rose Ballerine lining wear at the end. So this is again the Damier Bean print, and it is definitely one of the most carefree bags I own. So I do use it quite a lot in the winter months. In terms of wear and tear, the canvas is really like new in condition. There really is no significant wear. There are no scratches on the canvas. I haven't had any problem with color transfer or anything along those lines. The bottom and the corners also look pristine. And while there are no feet on this bag, given that the canvas is so carefree, I don't think you really need the feet at all. In terms of the hardware, I also think it's worn quite well. I don't have any tarnishing on the hardware. The hardware on the inside of the bag also looks beautiful as well. So really no issues with that. So at least on this bag, the main areas of wear show up on the leather trim. So the first, as you can see here, is the wrinkling on the leather. And this is known to happen with the Damier Bean bags because it's a stiffer color treated leather, so it's more prone to wrinkling. I also have some wrinkling here on the back, but there are no cracks in the leather. So again, I believe this is just normal wear and tear. I don't think this is a defect to the bag or would discourage me from purchasing this bag again. In terms of the straps, as you can see, even though I've used this quite a bit over 2 years, they're still quite stiff and they're still standing up. And I do have some wear on the handles here. And I got a white piece of paper here to show you. If you can see there are some frayed stitches that I've noticed on the handles. Again, the stitches have not popped. And the bag still looks nice, but some of them really are fraying. In terms of the Damier Azure print, one of the concerns, of course, is the light colored canvas. But again, I have had no problems with this bag, and I've used it quite a bit over the past 2 years. As you can see here, the canvas still looks quite nice. I don't have any stains, scratches, or color transfer. I am a little cautious with this bag, however, so if I'm wearing a really dark pair of jeans that are new and have not been washed much, I am a little cautious about carrying this bag. I may select something else. Otherwise, I don't baby this bag. The corners are also very nice still, as is the bottom. So really no issues with the canvas. The hardware also looks Really nice, with no wear, just like the bean bag. And there's no tarnishing at all. In terms of leather trim, this leather has held up quite well. I do not have too significant wrinkling, but I definitely have some, as you can see, although not as much as the bean bag in my opinion. But again, there are no cracks at all. I did not see any significant fraying of the stitches, and I think the handles have held up quite well. So now I wanted to provide you with a review of my rose ballerine lining. So as you've seen so far in this video, I selected the rose ballerine lining for both of these bags. So I just love the light pink interior, and that's really partially why I fell in love with these bags a couple years ago. Again, the rose ballerine lining is relatively new and came about after the revamp in 2014 of this design. I thought that for both of these bags, the rose ballerine lining really matched it well and was very unique and beautiful. So I decided to go with it. Of course, one of the concerns with the rose ballerine lining is it is a light pink color, so I was worried about increased wear and tear with that selection. But overall, I must say that the rose ballerine lining has held up better than I thought it would. However, there are some marks on the interior, as I'll show you. So as you can see here, overall the bag has really preserved its beautiful rose ballerine color. There are no significant stains. However, there are small marks, such as one right here. And as you can see, there is some lint in the bottom, including some flecks of glitter from my 4-year-old throwing stuff in there. But those aren't stains and can be easily cleaned. On the Azure bag, I think it is equally beautiful inside, with no significant stains or marks, although there is some lint, as expected, on the bottom, and some minor scuffs. But overall, I think it's held up quite well. So again, the only thing I do to protect the rose ballerine lining is place the dust bag in the bottom of the bag to catch any excess lint. Otherwise, I oftentimes will just use a lint brush and go inside and take out any of the lint that's collected over time. Occasionally I do use an alcohol-free baby wipe as well. If there is a new small scuff or mark on there, I will go inside and rub it down, and I think it does help taking out some of that mark. So those are the ways I care for the rose ballerine lining. But really, honestly, I don't do much for it, and it really has held up quite well. So again, prior to the new model of the Neverfull coming out in 2014, there were only 2 choices of lining. So if you purchased the Damier Azure, you could only get it in the beige lining. And if you purchased the Damier Bean, you could only have the red lining. Although the rose ballerine lining has been around for a few years now, I still get compliments on the lining of this bag, and it's one that's definitely more unique than the more traditional classic patterns. So I'm overall very happy I went with the rose ballerine color. And I also really like how the pouches or pochettes that come with the bag also have that beautiful rose ballerine lining. So now I wanted to move on to the comparison between both of these bags, and then I'll end with telling you which bag I would select if I had to only pick one. So in terms of size, they're exactly the same. They're both the size in the Neverfull. So in terms of what it can carry or capacity, it's exactly the same. I think they both function very well as a versatile tote. I've used these bags for work bags, for mom bags or diaper bags, and for travel, and they work amazingly in all of those situations. In terms of style, I do think that the Damier Bean print is a little more dressy. That being said, both of these bags, in my opinion, are casual bags. I don't tend to take them out to a nicer dinner in the evening or going out at night in general. But if you had to choose between the two, if you want a little bit more of a dressier bag, of course I think the Damier Bean fits that category better, just because of the darker color and the darker leather trim. But I think overall, both of these are very, very versatile. So in terms of how they differ, one is how carefree the bag is. In terms of how worry-free the bag is, the Damier Bean selection definitely wins out. That's again because of the darker color canvas. I don't need to worry about potential for color transfer. And also because of the color-treated leather trim, this bag really is carefree, and I have carried it in the rain and bad elements many, many times with no worries. So if you're looking for a truly carefree bag to fit your lifestyle, this is probably the better option for you. The Azure print in my opinion, also is relatively carefree, especially now that my leather has started to patina. I'm a little less worried about water spots on a brand new fresh vachetta trim. And again, the canvas really has held up quite well, such that I'm not too worried about color transfer or significant wear and tear on this bag. So I have also carried this around quite a bit, but I don't think it's as carefree as the bean print. The next point of difference between these bags is comfort. So in terms of comfort, the Damier Azur bag wins out. And that's really only because of the leather trim. So the treated colored leather in the bean bag is nice, but then it's carefree. However, because it's stiffer, as you can see, the handles have not even dropped yet after 2 years of pretty heavy use. When you place the bag on your shoulder, it does dig in, especially if you're carrying a lot of things, such as using it as a work tote or a mom bag. It will wear on your shoulder, and it does get difficult to carry toward the end of the day for that reason. In comparison, the Damier Azur bag has the vachetta trim. So as you can see, the handles are slouchy. They're definitely softer and moldable. And on your shoulder, you feel that. It's a lot more comfortable. So I'm definitely able to carry this most of the day. And for that reason, if it's not raining outside, I actually reach for this bag more than the bean bag. So comfort level is a huge consideration for these bags, and the Damier Azur wins out in that case. I also do think that the Damier Azur wears better in terms of the wear and tear on the leather trim. There definitely is less wrinkling, and I'm less concerned about potential cracking in the leather because it's so soft. So finally, in terms of comparisons, which bag would I select if I could only pick one right now? And I must say that I love both, clearly. I got this first bag over 2 years ago now, and just fell in love with the style that I decided to pick up the Azur print about a month later. And the reason is I was afraid that the rose ballerine lining was going to be discontinued. If I had to choose one, I would choose the Azur print. And the reason is I absolutely love how this bag looks. And again, I'm a true handbag lover, so I often go for a look and style over practicality of a bag. But this bag, I think, is just gorgeous, in particular with the rose ballerine trim. I think the beige trim is also beautiful, but not quite as beautiful in my opinion as this combination. So the Azur with the rose ballerine, in my opinion, is the perfect combination. I do like it with the bean bag, but it's not as beautiful, I think, as this combination. So that's the first reason I would select this bag. The second is really the comfort level. So the bean bag definitely wears on my shoulder such that I don't grab it quite as much. As long as it's not raining, I will go for the Azur bag. And that's a huge consideration for me. Now that I have 4 kids and have to lug around a lot of stuff, that's something I really need to take to heart. So reasons of how beautiful the bag is and how comfortable it is, I think I would select this bag first if I had to choose between these two styles. I also think the Damier prints are my preference as well over the monogram canvas because it's a little less subtle, and I did want to use both of these bags in a workplace setting, so that's why I chose these over the monogram canvas. However, if you're looking for a bag that maybe is the best of both worlds, the monogram canvas I definitely would recommend checking out. It does have the darker canvas print for carefreeness. It does have the beautiful vachetta trim for increased comfort level. So monogram canvas may be the best of both worlds if that's something that would suit your lifestyle. However, in my situation, I prefer the Damier prints because I wanted to take them to work. So that brings us to the end of this Neverfull MM review and the Rose Ballerine lining review. So I hope you found this helpful and can use this information to help decide which Neverfull would suit your lifestyle best as you decide on your first Neverfull or maybe your 10th Neverfull purchase. If you have any questions about what I mentioned in this video, please leave them below. And please let me know also if you have any other thoughts on Neverfulls that you may own as well. Again, if you like this video, please don't forget to leave it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel below. Otherwise, I'll plan to see you again in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!